Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the world of Wade. Today I'm going to be doing pack 8 of the Agora Models release and build the No Time to Die James Bond DB5. We haven't seen this for some time, have we? So I've got the engine over here and I've got the entire chassis and internal section as well. I think we're building onto that. I haven't even looked at the instructions today. I think the pictures that I've seen online from other people have done this, that I think I'm doing the engine surround today, but I can't be sure. I'm going to find out as soon as I open this box. Now, if you want to get this for yourself, I have put a link in the video description. There's also a QR code on the screen, but without further ado, let's get cracking. Now, before we start stage 58, they are asking us right at the very start of this stage to switch around the suspension of the car. Now, if you followed my videos in the last one, you've already done it right, so you won't need to do that. But here are all the parts for stage 58. Let's get these open. So first things I need are the brake servo and servo mount, which I've got here. Now, as you can see, we do have a key-shaped hole for that to fit in just like that. It is held in from the other side with some PS05 screws. I've got them here. Why did I use the word screws as a plural? I do ask myself, because it's only one screw going in here. There you go. And now this is where detail comes into its own, because I've got this little pipe here which is going to go into the two holes. You might see this on the top camera here and at the top here. I'm going to have to put my magnifying glasses on, I think, and push that down so that fits in like that. Excellent. Just put that to one side, and now I've got a pipe which I need to put into a T-connector here. So that's just going to push in like this. It's quite a tight fit, so I don't need to glue that. The other end of that pipe, again, is going to go onto the servo here, just onto the little lug that we can see there. So again, push that on. So that looks like that. Now this is going to be going onto this engine bay. This is what that engine bay is looking like. Pretty cool. There is a locating hole in here, so we can't really put this in the wrong way. Putting the locating lug in the center and then pushing those in, so that's going to fit in just like that. It's held in with two of these PS11 screws I've got here. These are flange screws. So get these in, one this side. And you can make that tight, because by doing that, it means the next one you put in should be a doddle to get in. And there we go. That's what that looks like when that's in place. And that's also all there is to do in that stage. So more details now of this engine bay. This time we're going to be working on the firewall. So having that this way round, we're going to be putting these brake fluid reservoirs into place. They can only go in one way because you've got a small lug and a thick lug. So get them both in, just like that. And then I'm going to need these PS05 screws, which I've got here, turn it over to hold these in from this side. So I need two of these. Now I've got this piece, which is going to go onto the back of the firewall, just like this here. So it comes out the other side just there. That's held in once again with a PS05 screw. There we go, that's that screwed in. And then finally I've got these reservoir caps, which are just going to go into the top there. One there, one on this side. And then I get to attach what we created here to what we've just created. So quite simply, this is just going to go in here like this. There you go, making a nice engine bay here. We've got the flange screws again, which are PS11 screws to hold that into place. So again, let me just line this up, get these screws in. Two of these. Perfect. And with that in place, that's all there is to do in that stage. So in stage 60, we're now building the left engine wall. Going to get all these parts out. And it's a mirror of pretty much how we started this. We've got another brake servo here to put in. So that's going in like that. Held in with one of these PSO5 screws. It's through the center there. And then in a similar way, we're going to be mounting this onto the edge here. So we can see them at the other side. It's 2 flange screws, which is going to hold that in. So one there. Okay. And one there as well. So there we go. That's in place. It's similar to how we put this side of the wall in. I'm going to be doing exactly the same on this side. So that's just going to go in there like that, held in with the flange screws. These are the PS11 screws. And again, once I've got one in, it's easy to get the second one in. Perfect. So that is the end of that stage. So stage 61, as you can see here, we've got some electrics. We're going to be fitting the speaker and the header tank. So let's work on the speaker first. If I just turn this upside down, you can see where the speaker's going to go. It's going to go into this hole just here. We do need to make sure it's facing the right direction. So this is facing down. And I want the lead to be coming out over the side here, just like that. We're going to be piecing that into place by putting this brace on. The brace goes on this way, just over the top. That's held in with 2 of these PSO5 screws. This is going to stop that speaker going anywhere. So, as you can see, speaker's in place. Now, don't worry about this coming away from the back here. When we put this in the car, we'll have these lugs here which will go through these holes and it'll make it more square. At the moment, as you can see, they tend to spring back. That's not a problem. I've got 2 massive leads here, a really long one and a not so long one. It's the really long one I want, and I'm going to be putting that into the other side of this T connector here. So let's put that in like that. Now the other side of this is going to be going probably best on the top camera through this point here, so it can come out the other side, as you can see. Excellent. The other pipe we've got, the shorter one here, there is actually a nipple just here. Hopefully you can see that. I'm going to push that onto there as well. These are going on really tight, so I'm not gluing these into place. See, look, it can hold its own weight here. Now, in the same way, this is going to go through that little bridge section we've got to come out the other side. Probably need my tweezers just to coax this through. There we go. Pull that through as well. So there we go. I've got 2 pipes now coming out from here. I can put that to one side. Just going to build the header tank now. And that's simply just a case of putting in the cap for the header tank, which has got a keyhole pattern. Looking like that. Held in from the other side again with these PSO5 screws. Just one of these this time. Looking good. Bring this together with its buddy on the bottom here, so we can actually make a full tank. And again, another PSO5 screw to hold that in place. And then this is going to be going into the 2 holes that we can see just here. Now, before I put it in, we want to make sure that the long cable is going behind there. The short cable's in the front, because when we put this in, it's going to trap that cable behind there. That's exactly what I want it to do. I need 2 PSO5 screws, whoops, which are going to hold that into place. Just get these in from the other side. There we go, that's in quite secure there. That is all there is to do in that stage. In stage 62, I'm going to be doing the ignition coil, and we've got some more pipes here. So again, the first thing I need, there is some tiny pieces here, so be careful, is the washer bottle lid. And I've got a small part to go in that lid. There's 2 tiny holes you can probably see for this detail to go in. It can only go in one way because, again, they are different sizes, but it looks like that when it's in position. This is going to go on top of this washer bottle. Brilliant shape. Keyhole pattern, so it can only go in one way. This time this is held in with PS14 screws. They come in this pack, right through the centre there to tighten that up. Now, if you have a look at this bracket, we've got a hole in one side and we've got a lug here. So I'm going to put this over the top so the lug comes through that bracket just like that there. Bringing over what we just created, and this time this is going to be going into the point there. So a large hole and a small lug, just like that. Again, held in from the other side with a PS14 screw. That's excellent. I like how that looks. Check that out. Okay, let's put that to one side. This time I've got a green pipe, which is going to go into this tiny, tiny connector here. And it needs to go to the thinner end. So let me just push that in. So it's looking like that. The other end of this is going to go onto the ignition coil just at the end. Get that all the way down there like that. And again, bring over the engine bay that we've been working on. And we're still working on this side here. This is going to be going into the two holes you can see there without pinching any wires, with the green wire coming out here, and it's held in once again with those PS14 screws. And it's going to take two of these. All we've got to do then is take this air hose here. One side is going to be going into this box here. So push that all the way in, like that. The other side is going to go through the square hole you can see just out the side here. So just a case of lining that up and pushing that in. So it looks like that there. And that is all there is to do in that stage. So stage 63 looks like we've got a lot to do. So I'm going to get all of these pieces out and lay them out. So the first thing I'll do is I'm actually going to make the air filter. So I'm going to need this section here, and we have got this grate here. Now it's great because I can grate the grate. It's great that I can actually use this as a former. So as you can see, I can make this roll round this whole thing without getting any sharp bends in it, which is going to dent the metal. Just like that. Very clever. Now obviously we're going to want to hold this into place. So we do have a top to put on, which looks like this. Once I put the top on, it should hold the rest of this all into place here. I'm just double checking. Looking good. Because there is sort of like a little cavity for that to go in. Then I need some PS14 screws, which I do have here, just to secure that together. Going to take two of these. Doesn't that look good? Look, check that out. Now, on the underside of this, I do have a bracket to put on. So I'm just going to put that into place. So it's going to look probably best for the top camera like that. That's held in with the PS14 screws again. And once again, we're going to need two of these. I've then got a pipe, which is going to come out of this square section just here. It has got like a clip on it. So you put the clip in and it should hold itself into place, just like that. Now bringing over the engine bay again. This is going to go onto these points that you can see just here. Be on the top camera on the left side. So this goes in like that. That gives the impression that the pipe is going into this section then, but it's held in once again with these PS14 screws. My reservoir's just fallen out. It only just sits in there. It's not screwed in or anything. So just get these screws in. And the one this side. Perfect. So that's in place. Let me just put this reservoir bottle back in. Now on this expansion tank we put in here, I've got this pipe, which we're going to need to put in. It's got a D-shaped hole. So just wiggle that in so it's going in like that. So I'm going to put that to one side because the fun's going to start now. And bring over the chassis here. This is what we were working on. Looking just like this. So you can see that we've got two holes just in here. That's where we're going to be mounting the engine bay that we've just created. And you can see the two holes at the bottom of these, which are going to go into those holes. Once again, I'll put my reservoir in last, I think, because it keeps falling out. So just line this up and push this into the recess here. Looking good. Make sure it goes in all the way. I've just zoomed up my close-up camera so you can see that as well. Now, the steering column needs to go through the arch that we've got under there. So I'm just going to lift it slightly so I can get that steering column in there. So it goes through that arch like that. Perfect. Now I need some DS02 screws because I'm now in a position to screw this into place. So we're going to have one this side here and one just on the other side. And then we've got two just down the front here. And one just underneath this air filter, which perhaps wasn't the best idea putting that in first, but there we go, that's in place. Gets even more fun now because we're going to be fitting the engine. So the engine is going to be going through the hole at the bottom here. I'm sliding that in like this, being very gentle. Excellent, that's fitting there, lovely and smooth. Make sure at this end here that I'm connecting the drive shaft to the transmission there. And it's seated itself in there. That's really good. I like how that's fitted. I also want to connect these two pipes that I've got here. So I'm just going to put them in. Excellent. So they're in place. Now again, I need a DS02 screw holding this from the back section for now. Because it's going to go in the hole we've got just there. So screw this in. Make that nice and tight. Excellent. Just going to turn it this way while I open some more screws up. This time I need the PSO5 screws. I've loaded one of them up here because we do have two holes just here that these PSO5s are going to go just to hold that engine in place. So now there's no danger of that engine falling out. Now, the green lead that we had here that's coming from the coil is going to go into the distributor. You should have a vacant hole in the distributor for this to go in. Just pushing that down. There you go. That's in there. Now remember the really long pipe that we had? Let me just grab that again. That's this one here. I don't know if you can see this, but on this black pipe, there's a nipple just here. That's going to go onto that nipple there. Let's get that one in. And then the shorter pipe that we've got here is going to go onto the water pump. And as you can probably see, we've got a nipple for that here. Just like that. Now that went in far too easy for my liking, so I have put a bit of glue in there to stop that falling out. Now this pipe that we've got coming out of here, hopefully you can see that, is going to go onto the other side of that T-shaped pipe that we put here. So it's the last nipple that's left on there. Let me just get that one in. All the way in, just like that. So we're going to be putting the internal section in now. So all the pipes that are coming out, all the cables that are coming out the rear section are just going to go through one side of the transmission here. So I can feed that all the way through. Just going to pull them through here. That's the back ones in. And then I want the front to be, let's just take this wire out. Somehow it's got trapped in there. Put it at an angle so it fits under the firewall here. And we want the wires to be coming out of either side here underneath the grooves. So again, I'm just going to pull these wires at the back so they don't get pinched. I'm going to check the other side as well. That's looking good. Cool. Nothing's pinched. Bit more pulling of these wires because I do need to get this now into place. And that looks okay. Got that in. What I do need to ensure with some tweezers is that the steering is into the back of the steering wheel. which it is. So if you have a look at the discs, as you can see, they now move. Excellent. Now I'm going to take our old favourite, the PS05 screw. I'll put this on its side because I'm going to be screwing the floor down. So actually I might have to put it that way round just so you can see. I'm trying to hold it so I can show you where this first screw's going. So we're going to put one in here and one just over here. So let me do those first. And once those two are in, I'm going to do the same on the other side. There we go, that's excellent. As you can see, it sits quite flush in there, just like that. I want to put the back section of the seat in here. Push it down. So there you go, that's that in. And then I am going to have to turn the whole car upside down because I've got 4 holes here to secure that seat in. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Excellent. Turn it back over. And I need 2 more PS05 screws just to secure the dial housing, which is this silver section just here. And get that into place there. So that's 1 and just 1 on this side. Now I need a DS20 screw. I'm going to put some oil in. Possible to show you this, but what I want to do is I want to rotate the steering round so I can see a screw hole just through the top there, and I'm going to be putting a DS20 screw in there to hold that all into place. So I've got that here. That's in place and it's working perfectly. Love it. Well, I was going to put this on its side because what I want to do now is I've got some wires, a number 10 wire here and a number 10 wire that's coming out of the top there, which is the speaker. And that's just going to be going into this one. So now that's connected. And we do want these wires to be behind the firewall here. So I'm just going to pull it through. So I'm just going to tuck that in by feeding it through the hole that I've got in the side here. Now all the rest of the wires we've got here, I want to feed underneath this clip that I've got just here. I'm very impressed with how this build is keeping all these wires nice and tidy for us. Perfect. So they're all now coming out of there. Now at the front here, I want to take wires 8 and 3, which I'm just looking for here. There we go. And there's a tiny clip just at the front here, which I'm going to be putting these in. So let's put the bigger one in first. I'm just using some pliers just to help pull that clip down so that I can get that into place. So there we go, that's those 2 in. Turn this around. Matter of fact, on the top camera again, in exactly the same way, we're going to be connecting wires 2, 4, and 6 underneath the clip that we've got here. As you can see, they're in place. And whereas we only clipped 2 wires at the front there, on this side, I'm going to be clipping all 3 into the clip at the front. Just like that. I did find an easier way. I could just push down on the clip there and just feed them through. So there we go. They're all coming out like that. So now we're going to be working on the ones underneath the car. So I'm going to turn this over. All the wires I've got here I want to fit under the axle. So let's just get all of these through. And then I've got these clips here, which I just need to take off the sprue. Get them as taut as I can possibly get them, but I also want them flat. I'm going to be putting the clips in just over the top of these sections here. So one there. And then I'm looking for cable 14, which is here. That's going to go off in this direction over here. So again, just a clip in here to keep that from going anywhere. But that is all there is to do in that stage. I told you it was going to be a big stage, didn't I? In stage 64, we're going to start building the mine dispenser. This is going to be fun. So first thing I want to do is take this panel just here, and I'm going to want to fit this just on top like that. Now, it's fitted with PS28 screws. These are silver flange screws. What will happen is, when I've got this in, make it quite tight, because you do want a little bit of friction on there. It is going to be able to go up and down like that. Okay, just put that to one side and bring over the car again. And as you can see, in this section here is where the battery box is going to go. So move that over here and turn this upside down again. The battery box is just going to be fitting in the position just here, like that. And that's held in with these DSO2 screws. We're going to need 2 of these. And then I want to connect plug 12 to plug 12 here. Turn the car over. And as you can see, this is where the batteries are going to go. And then I can put the lid for the battery box just in there. Clip that in. Put the car back on its side. And then these cables here, which are 7 and 5, are going to be going over the top. But I want to use this clip that we got in this stage just to clip them from the underside. They're going to go in here. There we go. And that's in place. And that's all there is to do in that stage. In stage 65, we're going to be fitting the mine dispenser. Let's get this open. So we want to take this massive panel, which I've got here. First thing I'm going to be doing is putting a dual pipe connector into place. So this is what that looks like. It actually just slots into the shaped hole, probably best on the top camera here. It's going to be held in from the other side with PS21 screws. Now these are really tiny silver screws. So tiny that I am going to use my tiny screwdriver just to get those in from this side. Now I've got some left and right pistons. So I want to put the left piston just in here into the corresponding holes, and the right piston into this side over here. Looking good. I'm holding them in 2 places with these tiny silver screws again. So I'll get all 4 of these in. It's 2 for each side. Now I've got that, I want to take one of these pipes, put one end over the nipple here, and all the way down. And the other one is going to go onto the nipple on this side, like that. And then in a similar way, we're going to do it the same on the other side. So we've got some piston rods now. These look like that. They're going through the holes that you can see at the top. So one in that side and one in this side. And then what we've created here is actually just going to be going onto this section. So we want to clip the top part of this chute that we've got here into just the lip underneath those pistons, just like this. So there we go, that's in place. Then I need some PSO2 screws to hold this in just from the other side here. So one here. So the way this works is, as you can see, it opens and it closes. That's going to let the mines out. Excellent. Okay, bring over the car again, and this time I do want to flip it upside down again. Let's have it this way, because I want to take this wire and put it underneath this clip. That's wire 12. And then wire 13, which I'm just looking where that is. That's this one here. I want to put that through the clip as well. So as you can see, that's coming off in this direction. And when we're happy at how that looks, I'm going to be aligning this onto the back section, making sure, you see we've got some notches in here. The wires that we've got coming out the side are going into those. Same on this side here. Excellent. So that's mounted into position. I'm screwing that in with DSO1 screws. Now these are silver screws. I do foresee a problem already here, and that is that this number 9 cable really does need to come out the back. So I need to get some more through this. I can't do that though while this is tight into the floor pan. So I am going to have to loosen this to get some more length on this cable. And there we go. That was a quick fix. Look how much length I've got now. You really do want to make sure you've got that length at the back. So what I'm going to do, just sort these wires out here. Once again, put this on top. And this time, just seeing how this fits. That's looking a lot better now. The middle wire's coming out there. I'm a lot happier. And then screw these silver screws in. There you go. When that's in, let's turn the car over. And this is where we'll be putting the mines eventually. And we've got a little cap here put over the top to stop them falling out. And that is all there is to do in that stage. This has been a pretty epic pack, and the last stage of this pack is here, stage 66. The recording time up to now, just so you know, is 1 hour 20 minutes. And the first thing I'm going to be doing is taking this part of the exhaust. It's the exhaust we're doing now, putting that over the top. I'm going to secure that with some PSO2 screws. Again, these are silver screws, and we're going to need 4 of them. Take the towel pipes here, and I'm going to be putting them into the ends here. It's a D-shaped pattern, so they can only go in one way. So one in this side, a little bit tight to get in. I'm going to put a little bit of oil on that. And as you can see, make short work of that then. Do the same on this one. Bring the car over, and again, I'm just going to turn this upside down. Obviously, it's this area that I'm interested in. I'm going to be pushing these ends just into there, like that. So that you can have a look here. We've got a hole to put a screw just down there. That's going to be a DSO1 screw. Get that in nice and tight. Excellent. And that's the exhaust system in place. And that is all there is to do in that stage. That's all there is to do in that pack. I think just to top everything off is just to put this reservoir back into where it goes over here. There you go. That's looking amazing. I mean, look, check that out. We have done loads on this pack. Looking good, isn't it? If you want to get this for yourself, there is a link in the video description and also a QR code on the screen. But I really enjoyed that pack, and I hope you've enjoyed watching this too. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care.